Hi everyone. Yesterday we put up a post on makecoconutnotfat.com regarding adding grass-fed butter, coconut oil, and a little bit of cinnamon to your morning coffee. And we've gotten a lot of questions on that, a lot of curiosity and a lot of interest on it. So we wanted to make a video and explain it a little bit further, what's going on, kind of dive into it a little bit more. The first thing that we want to talk about is essentially what grass-fed really is. As obvious as it sounds, a lot of people seem to get confused and hung up on this. When you go into the grocery store, a lot of times you'll see where steak is grass-fed or nothing. There's no term applied to it at all. What this means is that the cow actually ate grass, or some will call it a pasture-centered diet, where the cow was roaming around eating its natural diet. In most cases in the United States, the cows are fed grains, such as corn. And what this does is create a fatter animal and an unhealthier animal. So that unhealthy fat that is inside of the animal is called omega-6. And that is something that in the United States, if you Google omega-6, you'll find a lot of crazy ratios. People have too much omega-6 and they don't have enough omega-3. And that's where this starts to come in. You hear the term omega-3 a lot, and you'll also hear it with flaxseed oil and fish oil, great supplements to use. People are trying to get their ratios better so that they're not overloaded on omega-6. Omega-6 can cause inflammation and things like that, so omega-3 seems to be the healthier one, your brain's made of it, all of that kind of thing. So, if a cow is grass-fed, it will actually produce in its meat and anything that it outputs omega-3. That leads us to this butter. It's called Kerrygold. It's an Irish butter, and if you're getting a good view of it now, you can see at the top it'll say grass-fed, or it'll say milk from grass-fed cows. This is the this is the kind of butter you would want to use in the coffee. Do not use regular butter unless you know it's grass-fed. You don't want your coffee loaded down with an omega-6 fat. And who knows, obviously the system's a little compromised right now, antibiotics and added hormones and things like that. This is clean. Another note to take, this Kerrygold butter, unsalted. I would steer away from using the salted version of it. They do have one in your coffee. Maybe that's something you like. I think, I've never tried it, but I'm pretty sure people don't really like it. Secondly, this is found everywhere. I found this bar at Trader Joe's. I believe it was roughly $3. It's not too super expensive. It's actually a great buy, and it's found in every grocery store. If you're on the West Coast, Ralph's. It's Giant Eagle over here on the Northeast Coast. So you can find it everywhere. So it's very friendly to find. So secondly, we have our coconut oil from Trader Joe's. Again, we use this because it is one of the better buys. We found $5.99 for this amount, and it's extra virgin cold pressed. Be very careful when you go to the store. Most of them are expeller pressed, and with the expeller pressed stuff, it tends to lose some nutrients. You can buy extra virgin cold pressed at Whole Foods, but it is like $14, and this is $5.99, so do the math, same bottle size. Doesn't really work. And a little cinnamon, antifungal. So, what's going to happen here is that you're going to be making coffee adding two distinctly different fats. One is going to be the coconut oil, which has a lot of cancer-fighting properties and its lauric acid. It speeds up the metabolism, and it's just overall really great for you. The butter is the omega-3, and also if you want to do a Google search on grass-fed butter, and its grass-fed butter benefits would probably be your search, you'll find that it fights tumors, it boosts your immune system, I'm rarely ever sick. So there's a lot of good properties to that. In addition, throughout the day, it will help you burn fat if you do it right. The key here is not to take a carb with it. Take this in the morning exactly as is. Do not add in a creamer, none of that kind of stuff. Don't eat like oatmeal or anything like that. Let this do its work, because when you wake up in the morning, your body is burning fat, because that's the state that it's in. And this will continue that process. Another great thing about this is that a lot of mountain climbers actually will eat straight up the butter, the grass-fed butter, and the coconut oil. The reason why is a condition known as thermogenesis. When your body's burning calories or fat, you will go into a state of thermogenesis. And what this means is you'll warm up. So if you're in an office where you feel a little cold and you normally wear a jacket, well, when you do this, you might not feel that way. Or if you go outside and it's a little colder, you'll feel a little warmer and you'll have a great amount of energy. The energy that your body produces from accessing fat for its energy is so much better than the energy that you get from, say, eating a banana or a bowl of oatmeal or anything like that. It's extremely stable. It will last all day. I would actually encourage you to be careful with the amount that you use for a couple of reasons. We'll get to the second in a minute, but it will give you a lot of energy. So, there's that whole thing. Okay, let's talk about the complexity of it, because that is actually the biggest question that we're getting on this, and that is, why would you put something so disgusting as butter in your coffee and ruin the morning? So it's actually not disgusting at all. It's actually really, really good. We have a little open one now. So we're going to make it and kind of show you what it looks like. Butter is really just a heavy cream. So, you don't want to take fish oil. Most people don't want to take fish oil. So this is a really great compromise here for doing it, plus the fat burning properties and all of that. It's just a heavy cream. It is butter, but it blends in really nicely, especially when you get that coconut oil and a coffee in there. I'm going to put a little bit more in there than maybe you should start with if you've never done it. Like anything, take a second and try it on a morning when you are near a bathroom, because anytime you introduce something new to your body like that, it might take a few days to really, adjust, if you will. So I added that much. That's probably, if you're not one to do this kind of thing, then again, try it. Second is the coconut oil. So, again, same premise. Never done it. Maybe start taking like little bites of it, but I put that much in because that's how I roll with it. Okay, so we've got that in. Cinnamon's weird. It kind of can clump up in coffee. I've never really figured out the best way to do it, but the way that I've found is I go ahead and do it before the coffee. It'll bind with the fat, which is both the butter and the coconut oil. Now I'm going to pour the coffee over the top of it. For the record, there are a lot of people who believe in putting this in a blender, and if that's what you want to do, go for it. I don't completely see the need. As you can see right now, it's going to start to melt. I don't see how, even in a blender, I don't see how it will stay completely blended, because the one property is fat and the other is a coffee, which is like a water. Oil and water are going to separate. So while they melt, now I'm going to stir it, because you do need to stir it or else it just gets a little too settled for my taste. And you'll see it's kind of mixing in there. I won't waste too much of your time here. But let's watch. It's going to get a nice little yellow frothy. It's actually really good. I think I've heard, I don't drink lattes, but I've heard there's a comparison to be made. It'll turn a nice little yellow color. There's a little bit of sweetness from the butter in it. It's rich. It will help suppress your appetite. It will get your body moving. And the energy, I should note this. If you handle caffeine well, then, and probably if you're looking into making a coffee with this, you do. That's wonderful, and that's great. I'm using decaf coffee. The energy from the butter and the coconut oil is pretty epic, so I don't need anything else. That would be too much for me. If you search this concoction, you'll find a term being thrown around a lot called bulletproof. Bulletproof coffee. You'll either hear people say, I bulletproof my coffee, or what's the deal with bulletproof coffee? I believe bulletproof coffee is something that someone sells, and I've heard good things about it. I think they pre-package this stuff, but again, I don't know why you would need it. This is a pretty simple concoction to go out and get this stuff for yourself and make it whenever you want to make it. But that's what people are talking about. People say they use their bulletproof coffee for weight loss and things like that. Very true. This is the same thing. So if you see that on Google, that's what the deal is. And I think that's about it. Again, it's really good. You can see how it's kind of settled now. And, it may seem a little weird, but it's really something to give a try. And also, you'll see it as listed as paleo coffee. Some hardcore paleo people don't like the idea of this because it is butter, which is a milk, but because it's grass-fed, a lot of people let it pass. I'm not really into the philosophy of which is which, so whatever. I would assume it's pretty natural state, so paleo would be a pretty okay term by me. Thanks.